It doesn't start with an explosion. It doesn't start with sirens or a mushroom cloud on the horizon. The end of your world starts with a beep. A single, monotone, electronic refusal. You're standing at the pump, the nozzle is in your truck, and the little LCD screen simply says, "Processing error." You try again. Same result. You assume it's the machine. You walk inside to the clerk, who is already staring at a line of 3 other confused people. He's holding up a card reader that looks like a dead brick. He shrugs. "System's down, man. Cash only." You check your wallet. You have a folded $5 bill and a receipt from 3 weeks ago. You look at your fuel gauge. It's on empty. You look at your phone to check your banking app, and the little spinning wheel just spins, and spins, and spins. Welcome to Day 0. This isn't a glitch. This is a 14-day digital wipe, and right now, you are realizing that your entire life's work, your savings, your credit, your safety net, is nothing but ones and zeros that just stopped adding up. Most people treat the first 6 hours of a digital collapse like a bad Wi-Fi signal. They get annoyed, not scared. I want you to visualize the local grocery store at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. Carts are full. Mums are dragging kids. The conveyor belts are moving. Then the registers freeze. A collective groan goes up. The manager steps out, sweating, and announces they can't process cards. Half the people laugh. They leave their carts right there in the aisle, ice cream melting, meat spoiling, and walk out, assuming they'll just come back tomorrow when they fix it. That is the fatal error. They think this is an inconvenience. They don't understand that the supply chain is a tightrope walk over a canyon, and the rope just snapped. You, however, you know better. You see the carts left behind not as trash, but as abandoned resources. You reach into your pocket for the emergency cash roll you keep in your everyday carry. While they walk out empty-handed, you are buying the last 3 bags of rice the store will sell for the next 2 weeks. Now stop right there. I know what some of you are typing in the comments. "Sarge, this is fear-mongering. The Fed would step in. The National Guard would roll out trucks with cash. The government won't let commerce stop." Let's steel-man that argument. Let's assume the government wants to help. Here is the logistics reality check. There are not enough physical bills in circulation to replace digital transaction volume. Not even close. The physical cash supply is a fraction of the digital economy. Even if the Treasury printed non-stop, how do they distribute it when the fuel pumps for the armoured trucks run on digital fleet cards that are currently bricked? How do they track who gets what when the databases are offline? If the digital handshake fails, the physical hand cannot move. You are banking on a bureaucracy that takes 6 weeks to renew a driver's license, to rebuild an entire currency system in 24 hours. It is not happening. For 14 days, you are on your own. The Cavalry is stuck at the motor pool because their fuel requisitions won't clear. Survival isn't about you being tough. It's about you not being a failure to the people who look at you like you're Superman. Picture this. Day 2. The novelty has worn off. The panic is setting in. Your daughter has a fever. Not a little sniffle, a raging 103-degree heater. You need ibuprofen and amoxicillin. You rush to the pharmacy. The shutters are half down. The pharmacist is terrified, taking cash through a slot. A bottle of fever reducer is $20. You have a platinum credit card with a $50,000 limit in your pocket. It is a useless piece of plastic scrap. You don't have the cash. You have to go home, look your sick child in the eye, and tell her you couldn't get the medicine because Daddy didn't think to keep $20 in paper money. That shame? That is worse than hunger. That is the feeling of a man who failed his primary mission, protection. Don't let that be your reality. Most of you watching this think you're ready. You have a few cans of beans and a flashlight. You think that buys you 2 weeks. The math says you have 4 days before you're starving. Stop guessing with your life. I built the protocol survival system to strip away the ego and give you the raw data. Go to protocolsurvival.com right now. We have a calculator there. It's free to try. It will tell you your actual survival score. It calculates caloric burn, water capability, and medical readiness against your family size. You might find out you're 70% short on water filtration. Better to know that now, while the internet still works, than to find out when the taps run dry. Get your score. Fix the gaps. By day 3, the cities aren't burning yet, but they are starving. Why? Because trucks don't move on goodwill. A modern semi-truck holds 300 gallons of diesel. That costs over $1,000 to fill. Truckers pay with fleet cards. Those cards are digital. When the network is down, the fuel pumps lock. Independent truckers can't afford to pay cash for that fuel, even if the station would take it. So, they park. The highways go silent. This means no food to the grocery stores, no chlorine to the water treatment plants, and no fuel to the backup generators at the hospitals. The just-in-time delivery system turns into nothing in time. You go to the store on day 3, and the shelves aren't just empty, they are dusty. The employees have stopped showing up because they can't get paid. The automatic doors are pried open. This is where the behavioural sink begins. People realise this isn't a snow day. This is a siege. In this new world, your net worth is determined by the thickness of the envelope in your sock drawer. We see a new class system emerge instantly. The guy driving the least luxury SUV is begging for gas money. The old lady who stuffs mattress money is suddenly the neighbourhood bank. But here is the trap. You cannot flash your stack. If you walk into a chaotic shop and pull out a thick roll of hundreds, you just painted a target on your back. You need operational cash. This means 5s, 10s and 20s. Small bills. Why? Because on day 4, nobody has change for 100. If you try to buy a $10 loaf of bread with a $100 bill, the merchant is going to take your 100 and say, no change. You just paid a 900% inflation tax because you were too lazy to break your bills. Break them now. Keep them separated. 1 stash for bribes, 1 stash for bread, 1 stash for fuel. Let's talk about the security of spending. When the grid is down, cameras are likely down, or at least nobody is watching them. Law enforcement is overwhelmed with riots at the banks. This means commerce becomes dangerous. You do not go to the market alone. You use standard patrol SOPs. 1 person buys, 1 person watches the perimeter. You do not wear tactical gear. You do not look like a prepper. You look like a tired, hungry civilian. You hide your supplies in a black trash bag, not a tactical rucksack. If you are seen carrying a crate of water, you will be followed. If you are seen carrying a nondescript bag, you are ignored. This is grey man economics. The goal is to conduct your logistics without creating a signature. If your neighbours know you have 2 weeks of food and they have none, you don't have neighbours anymore. You have potential hostiles. By day 5, cash is scarce even for the prepared. The local economy shifts to trust. This is where your reputation becomes currency. Small mom-and-pop shops might open the back door for regulars. They start a physical ledger, a notebook where they write down your name and what you took, on the promise you pay when the world turns back on. If you are a stranger, you get nothing. If you are the guy who complained about a coupon 6 months ago, you get nothing. This is why community building is a survival skill. It's not about singing Kumbaya, it's about strategic alliances. I want you to imagine a scene. A panicked lawyer offering his Rolex for a tank of gas. The station owner laughs. He doesn't need a Rolex. He can't eat a Rolex. He needs someone to stand guard at his door overnight. The lawyer can't do that. The local mechanic can. The mechanic gets the gas. The lawyer walks. Value has shifted from status to utility. Here is the kicker that most financial collapse theories miss. They think the lights stay on. But how do you pay your electric bill? Autopay. How does the electric company pay for the natural gas that spins the turbines? Digital wire transfers. On day 7, the utility companies are bleeding. They might keep the grid up for critical infrastructure, but residential sectors start seeing rolling blackouts. Not because the lines are broken, but because the automated purchasing algorithms that balance the grid have stalled. Now you have a cashless collapse combined with a grid-down scenario. Your fridge stops working. That frozen meat you were saving? It's thawing. You have 24 hours to cook it or salt it. Do you have enough salt? Probably not. Now the smell of barbecue is wafting from your house, alerting everyone within 3 blocks that you have food. The cascade of failure is relentless. One system breaks and it shatters 3 others. Let's get personal. It's the first of the month during the outage. Rent is due. Your landlord relies on that money to pay his own mortgage or buy his own food. He comes knocking. You show him your phone. Service unavailable. He doesn't care. He's scared too. He demands cash. If you don't have it, tensions rise. Maybe he threatens eviction. Maybe he just lingers, eyeing your supplies. This is where the protection mindset kicks in. You need to have a buffer, not just for food, but for obligations. Can you pay your rent in silver? Maybe. Can you pay it in labor? Maybe. But you need to have that conversation before he's desperate. In a 14-day wipe, the social contract frays. People who are normally polite become aggressive when their security is threatened. You need to be ready to de-escalate or defend. If you have the cash stash I told you to have, you hand him the envelope. He leaves relieved. You just bought another month of security for your family. That cash wasn't spending money, it was a shield. We talked about the sick kid, but what about the chronic conditions? Insulin, blood pressure meds, psych meds. Pharmacies run on just-in-time inventory and digital insurance verification. When the system crashes, they cannot verify your insurance. They cannot order restocking trucks. On day 8, the pharmacy shelves are bare. People are going into withdrawal. If you depend on a daily pill to stay alive or sane, and you do not have a 30-day buffer, you are a casualty in waiting. The black market for antibiotics and insulin explodes. You'll see people trading cars for a week's supply of Humalog. This isn't fiction. This happens in every economic collapse from Venezuela to Greece. If you are watching this and you have 3 pills left in the bottle, you are wrong. Fix it. Ask your doctor for a vacation override. Build the buffer. Because when the digital gatekeeper shuts, no amount of pleading opens it. By day 10, the information vacuum is deadly. The internet is spotty or filled with old cached pages. The news is just repeating, stay calm. So rumours fill the void. The banks are bankrupt. The currency is being reset. Martial law is coming. Panic is a contagion. When people believe their money is gone forever, they stop acting like citizens and start acting like survivors. We see flash mobs targeting electronic stores, not for TVs, but for anything they can trade. We see roadblocks set up by neighbourhoods to protect their streets, but really they are just shaking down outsiders for supplies. You need a radio. A battery-powered AM/FM shortwave radio. It might be your only link to objective reality. While everyone else is doom scrolling on a dead phone, you are listening to emergency bands, getting actual intel on where the riots are and where the food drops might be. Day 12. The house is cold. You've eaten all the fresh food. You're down to rice and canned tuna. The kids are crying because they are bored and hungry. You are exhausted from standing guard shifts. The silence of the digital world is deafening. Then you hear a commotion outside. A neighbour, let's call him Dave, is screaming. He tried to trade his wife's jewellery for formula, and someone just took it. Robbed him in broad daylight. Dave is pounding on your door, begging for help. This is the moment of truth. Do you open the door? Do you risk your family's safety for his? If you prepared, you might have enough to spare a can of formula. If you didn't, you have to keep the door bolted and listen to him weep. That sound will haunt you for the rest of your life. This is why we prep. Not to be selfish, but to have the capacity for mercy. To be able to open the door without dooming the people inside. Let's assume the systems come back up. How do you prove you paid your mortgage during the blackout? How do you prove you own your house if the county clerk's server corrupted? During the 14 days, you need to be keeping a physical log, a war diary. Write down every transaction: who, what, where, how much. Keep receipts, even if they are scribbled on napkins. Take photos of the transaction with your phone, even if it won't upload yet. But more importantly, you need hard copies of your vital records now. Deeds, titles, insurance policies, medical records. If the digital wipe involves data corruption, the cloud is gone. If you don't have it on paper or on a local secure drive, it doesn't exist. You are trying to prove your existence to a system that has forgotten you. Speaking of data loss, where are your survival plans? Are they in a Google Doc? Are they in an Evernote file? When the grid goes down, your cloud notes are gone. You are locked out of your own brain. You need a system that works offline. I built Protocol Survival to be that system. It has an offline mode. You download your maps, your medical guides, your inventory lists directly to your device. The grid cuts out, the app still works. It becomes your pocket command center. Secure your data now. Go to the App Store, get Protocol Survival, and sync your database locally. Do not rely on a server farm in Virginia to tell you how to splint a broken leg in Nevada. On the morning of day 14, the signal returns. It's spotty at first, then a flood of notifications. Emails, texts, news alerts, all hitting your phone at once. The banking app finally loads. Your balance is there. The world breathes a sigh of relief. But things have changed. The trust is gone. You look at your neighbours differently now. You know who panicked. You know who begged. You know who was dangerous. And you look at your bank account differently. You realise it's not money, it's permission. Permission from the system to eat. And for 14 days, that permission was revoked. You survived because you had a physical backup to a digital illusion. You go to the store. The shelves are still empty. It will take weeks to restock. But the card reader beeps, approved. It's the sweetest sound you've ever heard. But you don't smile. You just tap your card, take your goods, and go home to restock your cash stash. Because now you know, it can happen. And next time, it might be 30 days. We walk around in a trance, believing that because the lights are on, we are safe. We believe that money is real. But money is just a collective belief. A digital agreement. When the screen goes black, the agreement is null and void. The only things that are real are what you can hold in your hands. The water in your tank, the food in your pantry, the skills in your head, and the people you trust. The grid isn't what keeps the lights on. It's what keeps the monsters out. When the grid fails, the monsters, hunger, fear, desperation, they come in. Your job is to be the gatekeeper, to stand between the chaos and your family and say, "Not here, not today." Get your cash, get your supplies, get your head in the game. Protocol out. Let's double back to fuel for a minute. I mentioned the pumps being down. But what about the gas you have sitting in your garage? If you're like most people, you have a red plastic can that's been sitting there for 8 months. Modern gasoline with ethanol degrades. It absorbs moisture from the air. In a 14-day crisis, if you pour that bad gas into your generator, you don't have power, you have a paperweight with a gummed-up carburetor. You need to treat your fuel. Stabilizer is cheap, rotation is free. Every 6 months, pour that can into your car and refill it with fresh gas. And don't just store gas, store oil, store spark plugs. A generator is a mechanical device. It breaks. If you have 50 gallons of fuel but a fouled plug, you are in the dark. This is the granularity of survival. It's not just having stuff. It's maintaining the operational readiness of that stuff. Nobody talks about the smell of a collapse. But after 2 weeks without garbage collection and potentially limited water for showers, hygiene degrades fast. This isn't just about comfort, it's about disease and morale. A clean body feels human. A dirty body feels desperate. Stockpile baby wipes. Thousands of them. They are a shower in a bag. Stockpile heavy-duty trash bags to seal waste if the toilets stop flushing. And don't underestimate the power of morale. A deck of cards, a board game, a hidden bar of chocolate. When the digital dopamine drip of TikTok and Instagram is cut off, people crash hard. They get depressed. You need analog entertainment to keep the mind engaged. If your kids are screaming, you are stressed. If you are stressed, you make bad tactical decisions. A $5 board game could save your life by keeping your head clear. I mentioned barter earlier, but let's get specific. Alcohol and cigarettes are the movie clichés. In reality, the most valuable trade items in a short-term grid-down scenario are batteries, lighters, and information. A AA battery is useless to you if you have rechargeable ones and solar, but to your neighbour whose flashlight just died, it's gold. A Bic lighter is worth more than a silver coin to a man who can't start a fire to boil water. And information, knowing which store just got a cash-only delivery or which roads are blocked, that is a tradable asset. Don't trade guns. Don't trade ammo. Never arm a potential threat. Trade consumables. Trade skills. If you can fix a generator, you will eat like a king. Learn to fix things. In a disposable society, the repairman is the wizard. Water. You can live 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. In a grid-down scenario, water pressure might drop, or the treatment plants might stop putting chemicals in. The water coming out of your tap might look clear, but be loaded with giardia or cryptosporidium. Do not trust the tap after day 3. You need a filter. Not a Brita pitcher for taste, that won't stop bacteria. You need a hollow fibre membrane filter. Soya, Katadyn, life straw. And you need a backup. Boiling is the gold standard, but it consumes fuel. Chemical tablets are good for a bug-out bag, but taste like swimming pool water. Have a gravity filter for the house. Fill a bag, hang it up, let gravity do the work. If you are exhausted, you won't want to pump a hand filter for 20 minutes just to get a drink. Make it easy. Make it redundant. Finally, let's talk about light discipline. It's night. The whole neighbourhood is blacked out. You turn on your kitchen light because you have a generator. Your house is now a lighthouse. You are signalling to everyone for miles that you have power. You need blackout curtains. If you don't have them, Use heavy blankets. Go outside at night and check your own house. Can you see light leaking through the cracks? Fix it. Inside the house, use red light filters on your flashlights. Red light preserves your night vision and doesn't travel as far as white light. These are military habits, but they apply here. You want to be a black hole, unnoticed, unbothered. Practice this tonight. Turn off all the lights. See how you navigate your house. See where the tripping hazards are. Do it now when it's a game, so you don't break your neck when it's real. The hardest part of this isn't the hunger, it's the uncertainty. Human beings hate not knowing when the pain stops. In a 14-day simulation, you don't know it's 14 days. It could be forever. You have to manage your mind. Focus on the 24-hour cycle. Survive today. Improve your position by 1%. Did you collect extra rainwater? Good. Did you fix the fence? Good. Small victories keep the despair at bay. If you sit around waiting for the TV to turn back on, you will wither. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Give everyone in your family a job. The kid watches the window. The spouse inventories the food. You check the perimeter. Purpose keeps you sane. Without purpose, you are just a victim waiting for the lights to come back on. When the world comes back, don't expect a ticker-tape parade. Expect a bill. The credit card companies will want their interest. The utilities will want their back pay. The government might issue a holiday on fees, but don't count on it. Document everything. If you paid cash for rent, I hope you got a signature. If you bartered, I hope you didn't get ripped off. The re-entry into the digital world is jarring. You realise how fragile it is. You might find yourself hesitant to put money back in the bank. That's a healthy instinct. Keep your cash reserve. Rebuild it. Because the system didn't get fixed, it just got rebooted. The same vulnerabilities are there. The same hackers are there. The same solar flares are waiting. You survived the test run. Make sure you ace the final exam. Review your loadout. Do you have the cash? Do you have the water? Do you have the meds? Do not click off this video and go watch a cat video. Take 10 minutes. Write down 3 things you are missing. Go buy them. Not next week, today. The system works until it doesn't. And when it stops working, it doesn't give you a 2-week notice. It just stops. Be the person who shrugs when the card reader fails, not the person who panics. Stay dangerous. Stay ready.